Hey, my name is Cedric Castile, and this is probably going to be the most important and essential video you ever see on this platform. As today, I'm going to walk you through and guide you through the steps of true, stable, and safe revolution. Now, just a disclaimer before we head any further. I am not trying to be a content creator or a celebrity or an icon in any of the liking that has ever been seen before, as hopefully you can tell from the way the content is just generally filmed, that I am people first and foremost. After that, I'm probably a philosopher second. After that, I am neurodivergent people first and foremost. Moving on, however, when it comes down to revolution, first and foremost, there's this big pill that you all like to skip over and also just generally have a hard time swallowing when it comes down to change here in the United States. Because first and foremost, when you want something changed, there is a way, there's an appropriate way that you go about getting that change. There's an appropriate way that you go about protesting in which your government is not allowed to come out and hinder your protest unless you are out there being violent. They can no longer initiate anything, though. They can no longer sit in front of you to intimidate you in any way, shape, or form, because there is a procedure that is supposed to be followed. And this is something you all have to first and foremost acknowledge, understand, accept, and then execute. That is the simple reason why there are so many Americans versus other people in other nations that feel very defeated about changing anything in any way, shape, or form. Because you can have protests that spring up here and there, and your government does the same thing every single time. Because what you're doing does not follow procedure. So what you have done is just a disturbance. And they have any and every right to break up a disturbance every single time. Now, before I go into explaining the first step in the procedure, you've heard the acronym CYA before. Cover your behind. As again, the first step in the procedure, it's a rather simple thing to understand and comprehend, but when it comes down to American citizens, even with sugar, spice, and everything nice, it's just a pill that seemingly won't go down. Of all the places in all the countries throughout the entirety of the world, when it comes down to change, when it comes down to you getting and requesting the things that you want to be changed or something done about that, the first step every single time, especially here in America, is writing a petition. Slow, CYA, you. Can I talk now? The CYA thing, I didn't say that for no reason earlier. Petitions are supposed to state consequences, i.e. repercussions, that your government would receive from the citizens that support said petition in response to them doing something like ignoring the petition. This is something that y'all do not understand or comprehend when it comes down to writing petitions. So when it comes down to getting anything changed, usually the way that things go is all the things that we were talking about earlier. As what normally happens is, without following procedure, you try to give your government some form of consequence, and then because of that, you get cited as a public disturbance, and or your government comes out to intimidate you, and or they come out and do more than that. Thus, the sentiment around America becomes, it's rigged. The system doesn't work. There's no way for us to fix it. There's no way for us to change it. But you've never tried to change it the appropriate way, because there's a fatal flaw in a simple thing that you do not seem to see. And because you do not see that thing, the sentiment is what the sentiment is. So even if somebody else sees that sentiment, acknowledges that sentiment, and tries to tell you about that sentiment, it doesn't really change the sentiment that's already there. The system is rigged. It doesn't work. Everything's corrupt. There's nothing that we can do. Even though you have all the power, you just forgot because there's something that simple that you continuously overlook. Now, hopefully we have that understood. Hopefully we have an understanding that when it comes down to it, the first step in the procedure every single time in order to constitutionally CYA ourselves is writing a petition. And the second part of that is understanding and comprehending that a consequence is supposed to be stated, or repercussions for the government are supposed to be stated on the petition. And those consequences should be, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but realistically, if y'all could come up with consequences that were viable, that were big brain moves, Jimmy Neutron, like, I think something might have worked by now. So if you just, I'll tell you the consequences. Now, as we are going over the consequences, please, until the consequences have been explained in thorough detail so you can actually comprehend and understand them. As again, if your consequences were realistic, if your consequences were simple, safe, and thorough, regardless of a petition, I think they might have worked. First and foremost, when it comes down to revolution, i.e., giving repercussions or consequences to your government, when it comes down to making or forming those consequences need to be made and thought of in a manner for everybody to be able to participate and show support in some way, shape, or form if they so choose, without it being a drastic ordeal for them to do so. This includes elderly, this includes children, this includes the handicapped, whether that's mental, physical, or both. If you can understand that and comprehend that, I can then tell you about hashtag lazy protest or the lazy protest. What is the lazy protest? It is a two-part boycott. Now, give me a second to explain. A lazy protest, first and foremost, is a type of protest that is started only after the specified date in a video petition has been ignored by the government, at which point you would start the small form boycotts, the company boycotts. Picking companies from 4 different categories in order to boycott. In boycotting these companies, you would ensure that you are refraining from using them in any way, shape, or form during the time frame, and that also includes pulling your stock out of them. These companies would include a streaming service that you all select, a gaming system that you all select, a fast food place, and a grocery store that you all select. Thus providing a safe and simple method for pretty much anybody in the United States to contribute and show support for the things that were requested to be changed in the video petition, while also showing your government how serious its citizens are about the things that they want changed. As the second part will still be coming if they don't start changing things soon or immediately, as the second part starts the following month. So as that month ends, if they haven't done anything, you would then go into the following month, continuing your lazy protest, but taking the stakes up from not just boycotting the 4 different companies. And y'all breathe. But going into that following month, not paying your rent, your water bill, or your electricity. I told you to breathe. I said breathe. I'm not done explaining chill out. Yes, not paying rent, water, or electricity. When it comes down to it, I own my home in a place where I can't really own anything, so I still have to pay mortgage. Then you wouldn't be paying your mortgage. Remember the video put constitutionally covering your... I'll wait. I thought we had an agreement. I thought I could finish, but I'll wait for a second. You have to understand and comprehend when it comes down to your electricity bill, the electric company isn't truly the one that is raising the price of your electricity bill. That is the government's doing. Since the government likes to do this thing and has been doing it for a long time, which is bailing out other companies, because that's what the government likes to do on behalf of the government. Bailing out other companies. The government has the electric company increase the price of your bill. So it's not the electric company that is increasing the price of your bill. It is the government on behalf of other companies. Now, when it comes down to things like the water in our faucets at home, the government has the means to appropriately clean the water, meaning that the water is supposed to come out significantly cleaner than it actually does. But because they believe that people aren't aware that they actually just heavily chemically dye and process the water while also adding in excess chemicals into the water in order to package it up and just send it right back to you, that it's okay. So let's just look at our connection so far. When it comes down to your electricity bill, the government has direct ties to the price that you receive from the electricity company, because the government likes to bail out other companies trying to make the prices for electricity lower for them, thus telling the electricity company to make the prices higher for you. When it comes down to your water bill, the government has a hand in the quality of water that you receive. You could be receiving significantly higher quality of water just through the pipes in your home. Your government opts for you to receive the latter. Not the water company. Not the water company. Your government. Now for rent. I know this is the bit. Breathe. Okay? Breathe. We about to go into a little rabbit hole. It's really not a rabbit hole. It don't lead very far. When it comes down to renters are usually paying landlords. Those landlords are usually paying mortgage. And if they're not paying mortgage, people are still paying property tax. Can't get away from property tax. So, in bucking your rent, you wouldn't be paying your landlord wouldn't be paying mortgage, and other people wouldn't be paying property tax. This is a domino effect. This hits your government harder than anything else. The main part of not paying your rent, though, is to stick it to your government so they can reveal themselves and their true colors. As one, if they ignore your video petition and it truly is supported the way that it is supposed to be supported, they already put themselves in a position to be impeached. So after that, if they come to your homes, then they clearly reveal themselves as traitors, as treasonous terrorists at that point in time. So not only you as an American citizen, but your United States military is supposed to step in and get involved at that point in time. Step one, of course, is petitions. We're in like the digital age, so you might as well do video petitions. We'll loop all of that back in. Step one is petitions. Step two is stating your consequence on your petitions so you can be constitutionally CYA'd. Those consequences need to be things that a vast majority of people can contribute or participate in with relative ease, whether they be children, elderly, handicapped, mentally, physically, and or both. Doesn't matter. They need to be able to participate in a relatively simple and safe manner. So these consequences would start with small foreign boycotts of 4 different companies from different categories. 1 from a gaming system, 1 from a streaming service, 1 from a fast food place, 1 from a grocery store. To be followed up and continued with the major foreign boycott of your utilities, which includes your rent, your water, and electricity bill, if your government continues ignoring your petition. And during this time, the American citizens should be going about their daily lives as normal. If they have jobs to work, that's what they should be doing. If they're buying groceries, that's what they should be doing. Of course, they should be contributing and participating in the small form and large form boycotts. But outside of that, there should be no other indicators of revolt from the citizens. As in doing a video petition, if your government does ignore it, once you start the small foreign boycotts, it should let them know how serious you as the American citizens are, as it should be easily detected how much support the petition truly has. Which also segues into giving them a small amount of time to take the petition seriously and start changing or going about enacting the change that has been requested from and on the petition before the large form boycott and or protest begin, at which point your government would then have 3 months to truly start changing or go about fulfilling the requested change that was on the petition and or coming to your homes to try to get you out, which at that point the U.S. military should be stepping in against your government. And at that same point in time, the majority of weapons that American citizens have will be constitutionally protected, pointed at their government. As if they're not going to change anything, if they're not going to step down, if they're not going to go against our military, the only other option is they just be cool with everybody having no rent, no water bill, and no electricity while still providing or us having all of these things. But I really don't see that one happening, so why we're also in the process of possibly crippling companies one by one from different categories. And then, I don't see them being okay with that. So they're either going to change something, step down, reveal themselves as who they are, and then we have all right as just American citizens to completely take this back. But I digress because I'll pay you to do it. Outside of anything else and any reason you might want to try to do another type of consequence, a good one, a major one, is that I will pay you to do it, because I can show you how realistically, if at any and how at any point in time, if anybody ever wanted to, like any celebrity, any other content creator, if they really with y'all, how they could have paid y'all back in any way, shape, or form just for the smallest amounts of attention that y'all have paid them, that have successfully paid them. I'll digress a little bit. Let me get back on track. Technically it's still on the same track because they could have helped y'all out at any other point in time. Any other person could have been done this. But again, I digress because it has never been done before, or had never been done before, until I and we had did it. And this is from the first drop. Again, you can head to our Discord and look through everything at your own leisure. All right, it's 12 o'clock. Bop, bing. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Look, started off as a dead coin, resurrected. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh. Oh. 790. Y'all, they're real life owing on them goddamn fucking transfer fees. Oh, you tried to make that sound nice. That did not sound nice. That was awful. That's just awful. That's terrible. Oh God. Our second drop admittedly was not as successful as our first drop, because overall I had people invest more money in the small increments than they did during the first drop, as during the first drop we just had everybody invest with $1 versus the second one where we tried to have everybody invest with $5, as we only had $2,000 for the second drop in comparison to $1,000 from the first drop. Of course, if you make your way over to our Discord, you can look through everything for yourself. One, ignore my lip because I've been biting it. Outside of that, that is verifiable proof how cryptocurrency is supposed to be used. And you can head over to our Discord and you can look through the information yourself to verify it yourself. And I highly encourage you to do such. Since cryptocurrency is supposed to be used to redistribute wealth, you can realistically pay everybody for their attention. You can make people's job just paying attention. You can turn people's attention into passive income because you have a simple, verified way to pay everyone. As when it comes down to it, collective weaponized attention is always going to be your way out, especially when you live in a digital age. Because if you all are paying attention to one source or one entity, and everything that entity, that source is doing gets redistributed back out to you all, except for 10% to 5%, because it's too much money for one individual person to be trying to hoard, well, you start heading towards financial freedom. As just doing something as simple as playing a YouTube video at night before you go to bed. When it's done by a massive amount of people, a true collective, you couldn't truly fathom or understand the sheer amount of money that would come to everybody each and every month. Now, I'll digress on that point for now to go ahead and tell you the things that you need in order to turn your attention into passive income. Oh, and mind your business when it comes down to this. This is an ingrown. I'm dealing with it. I shaved and cut my hair and face things. This is our link tree. There will be a link underneath the video in the description. But in order for you to get some of the things you need to turn your attention into passive income, you would head over to our link tree and you would scroll down till you see all my links. You would click on that. That should then bring you here. When you get here, the things that you're going to need is one, Robinhood. So you would want to download and set up your Robinhood account. If you use this link, it will give you a complimentary $5. Then you want to download Phantom Wallet, which is this one right here. This is on the App Store as far as Androids go. So if you have a Apple Android, you would need to look it up in your Apple Store. If you don't have a bank account, Chime is absolutely wonderful. We do have a GoFundUs, but again, your attention is to be turned into passive income. Outside of that, Discord is down here. And outside of Discord, we do have a Telegram where updates are frequently dropped into. This is what Robinhood looks like in the Play Store if you do not get it through the link. This is Robinhood. This is what Phantom Wallet looks like if you do not get it through the link. This is, again, Phantom, but I call it Phantom Wallet. As you can see, that's what I put in when I search for it. For those who aren't sure what Discord is, this is what Discord looks like in the Play Store. Last but not least, we have Telegram, and this is what Telegram looks like in the Play Store. These are the apps you're going to need in order to not just stay updated, but in order for your attention to become passive income, as Robinhood is on the front end of the crypto marketplace, while Phantom Wallet is on the back end. And on the back end of crypto, you get access or granted access to stock, crypto, or token that is usually at the starting price, which is significantly less than the price of a penny. 1/1,000,000th the price of a penny. Versus on the front end of crypto, where you have things like Robinhood, Coinbase, or other crypto platforms, where you find stock that is usually already more than the price of a penny. Significantly more than the price of a penny usually. And just for a visual aid, so you can understand what 1/1,000,000th the price of a penny is, come with me. On the back end of crypto, when you're starting off at the starting price per share at 1/1,000,000th the price of a penny, that means something like this. For it to equal up to a penny, you need all of these just for it to equal 1 penny. So what does that mean in the crypto space? That means on the back end of crypto, in the crypto space, if you were to invest $1, you would end up with a lot of shares in the stock, crypto, and or token that you selected. That's on the back end of the crypto market space, where cryptocurrency is usually starting off at 1/1,000,000th the price of a penny. If you were to put $1 in that, on the high end, you can easily get anywhere from 50 million to 60 billion shares, versus the low end, where you could still get easily 50,000 to 200,000 shares in the stock, crypto, and or token. And with crypto working the way that it works on a first come, first served basis, that you earn money based off of the people that are investing after you, then when you have a significant amount of shares, even if it's not a significant amount of money, then somebody doing a drop, somebody taking a significant amount of money to drop in that designated spot after everyone else, incurs or causes everybody to profit that was invested before them. Versus the front end of crypto, where most things are already priced more than the value of a penny. So if you were to try to invest in something on the front end, like on an app like Coinbase or Robinhood, then when you invested at max, if the token only is a penny per share, then at max, your dollar will only get you 100 shares. But realistically, as this would be the conglomerate of cryptocurrencies in a crypto space, like let's say Coinbase, you could snag one of these off of here, and just one of these for 1 share could cost you, like Solana, lowballing it, 1 share, $160. So comparatively, on the front end of the crypto market space, we're $1, and we're going to be nice. We're going to highball this and try not to be any type of bias, because again, there are cryptos on the front end of the market space that are less than the value of a penny. Not a lot, and a good majority have a decent amount of holders in them, but I'll digress on that point for now. $1 on the front end, highballing it, trying to take into account that there are cryptos that are on the front end that have done bad, but do have a significant amount of holders in them. $1 on the front end, on the highball side of things, will grant you anywhere from 100 shares to, let's say 10,000, 100 to 10,000 shares on the high end. On the low end, you ain't got a share. On the low end, on the front side of crypto, your dollar, you don't got a share. You have nothing. You've got 0.0000023 of a share. This is why things like Phantom Wallet are essential in order to turn your attention into passive income. Because in Phantom Wallet, there's these things that I like to call coin. But outside of the coin, we can always just make our own coin. We can make new coins each and every month if need be. As before we want to sit there and build up a coin, for it to turn into something like the other coins on the front end, we want to remain on the back end. So each and every month, everybody has a fair chance and shot at getting paid for their attention. As the more that the price of the coin, token, or stock increases, the more money is required for people to get a reasonable or substantial amount of shares. And we don't want to do that. We want to ensure that even with a small amount of money, each and every time, people end up with a significant amount of shares. That way, when the drop is done, after everybody has invested in small increments, everybody's investments increase. Because no matter when you actually start clicking in and paying attention to get your attention turned into passive income, it shouldn't be held against you in any way, shape, or form, or there be any type of sentiment that you were getting left behind. Because you just missing out on getting paid a couple of times for your attention because you just weren't paying attention should be enough. But outside of that, this is for everyone. This is for everybody, not just American citizens, because crypto you can use to pay anyone, anywhere. Isn't that how crypto promotes itself? So the apps that you need to turn your attention into passive income: 1, you need to get in my Discord. 1, join me in my Telegram. 2, download Robinhood. If you use our link via Linktree, you get a complimentary $5. And then download Phantom Wallet. Since at any point in time, anybody could have done this for you all. Your content creators and your celebrities know this. This is one of the key things that they refrain from ever trying to reveal to you all. Because if you all ever knew how much they got paid for your attention and how easy it could be for them to give you back a little bit of that payment, you wouldn't sit there and keep blindly paying attention to them. But I'll digress on that point for now, because now we're going to go over how you would even move your monies back and forth, because I'm pretty sure there's some people might not know. So let's go over it. I'm still biting it. I'm just making it worse. But again, mind your business. Just FYI, we do have a course over on Linktree that explains this, that goes into fairly good detail so people can comprehend and understand how to move things back and forth, and also just some of the things that are supposed to be done on things like TikTok. Because TikTok, since it has community guidelines and it has very much so a restricted pace versus other platforms like YouTube, there's certain rules that have to be followed over there if we were going to be trying to use TikTok as the means to get the money each and every month. It should be everything, mind you, all forms of social media, any place that has a monetized platform, we're on, and it should be all of those places that you're on. YouTube primarily, because it is just the bulk, it is the muscle of this operation. But we have a lot of people that are stuck over on TikTok that will not come over here, and they also will not do their TikTok job appropriately. So we haven't been successful, very much so, over on TikTok because people aren't listening. But I'll digress on that point for now, so we can go over how you're actually going to move the stuff and things, because there's a lot to go over on this part. But we're about to go over that, so I digress on the other part for now. We will get into the TikTok job and all that other stuff near the end of this video. First and foremost, you're going to download Robinhood. You're going to set up your Robinhood account. I highly suggest you to just get the complimentary $5 from Linktree. Go to Linktree and download Robinhood with my link. Once you have set up your Robinhood account, go ahead and download Phantom Wallet. Phantom Wallet, you can just look that up. There's no real links like referrals or benefits that are to be earned from Phantom Wallet. It's just our payment platform. So download Phantom Wallet and set that up. When you set up your Phantom wallet, I highly encourage people to save the seed phrase versus doing the Gmail login. But to each his own. If you feel more secure with the Gmail login and doing it that way, do it that way. I do highly encourage using the seed phrase though, because just in case something happens with your Gmail login, you can always take the seed phrase and get back into your account. Now, understand and comprehend that this is only to be done once a month. We're not teaching you cryptocurrency. We're not trying to teach you how to invest in this or invest in that. We're not giving you no suggestions for you to make money through cryptocurrency. We're teaching you how to use cryptocurrency to turn your attention into passive income. So only one time a month, when your attention is about to be paid for that month, should any of these steps be taken. Do you understand me? Do you comprehend me? Do not leave your money in none of these things. Because crypto is still crypto. Things are very volatile. Solana, which is our middleman, just went from 210 down to 160. Crypto is still crypto. It is volatile. I'm not teaching you crypto, especially the way that these people have used and abused it. I'm teaching you the truth. So one time a month, usually near the end of the month, you are going to take a small amount of money and you're going to put it in Solana. Inside of Robinhood, you can go up here and search SOL. You see it right there, Solana. So one time a month, you would put some money in Solana, and it's not to keep it there. It's so you could then send it over to your Phantom wallet. When it comes down to moving money back and forth between the two apps, understand that wherever you're trying to send money truly is the app that you need to start with. As when you go to that app, you're going to need to copy an address, as that address is going to be needed to be pasted into the app you're sending from, so you can then send it from there to your other one. So if I want to send money to Phantom Wallet, Phantom Wallet is the app that I start with. I open Phantom Wallet, I find the thing that I am trying to send, which would be Solana. I would then hit receive, and it will then give me a text to copy. This is what Phantom Wallet looks like. Here is Solana. You see that? It says receive, so you would hit receive. You would then copy that address that is given right there. You have that copied, you can open up your Robinhood. Then you can place your money in Solana, as you don't truthfully want to have it in there beforehand. But once you have the address copied, you would then want to move your money into Solana. From there, you would then scroll down. You see send and receive. You hit send. Enter manually. Then you can just paste the address that you got from Phantom Wallet. That will then send your money from Robinhood over to Phantom Wallet. Once your money is over on Phantom Wallet, because again, it should only be done once a month, you will then go to Discord and or Telegram to find out where you should be placing your small investments. Okay, so hopefully we got that. Hopefully we understand how to move money from Robinhood over to Phantom Wallet. I will tell you how to move it from Phantom Wallet to Robinhood. But first, I want to show you some of the stock, token, and or crypto that resides on Phantom Wallet. Nothing you see on this page, though, are suggestions. None of these things are you to be investing in just because you saw it here? Okay? Okay. In Phantom Wallet, these are considered and or called tokens. These tokens, as you can see, I have a little bit of a variety, but I don't have a significant amount in anything, as these are not for investment purposes. These are for in case purposes, as if these turn into coin, I need to have them. I need to be aware. I need to be waiting and ready. But as you can even see, $1.80, how many shares? 139.15 billion. $1.32, 1.11 billion. $1.17, 72.28 million. $1.13, 175.1 billion. There's reasons I am holding in these certain things. As this, as you can see, is more than likely heading towards coin, which is why I am invested in these. I don't suggest anybody else investing in these, as I am waiting for some of these to turn into coin so we can possibly use them. I want to say we used Sandy the first time. Hopefully, from what you just saw, you were able to see how low my investments were, but how many shares those investments got me in the designated tokens. But one thing you may not have been truly aware of to look at or to pay attention to is how many holders were in each. As any coin that we are going to use is never going to have a significant amount of holders in any capacity. The coins that we are going to use are always going to have at least fewer than 1,000 holders, or they're going to be new, fresh coins with no holders, or technically two, because when you make a coin, I think you have to have at least 2 holders automatically type. But I'll digress a little bit on that point for now to just go ahead and show you how to use Telegram and Phantom Wallet to get your money in the appropriate place after you have sent it from Robinhood over to Phantom Wallet. Now, you can also find the information somewhere in Discord. However, this is just probably the easiest way that I could go about showing you all. This right here, this super long text, you would want to copy. So copy that to your clipboard. Then you can close out Telegram and then you can head over to Phantom Wallet. As once you have sent your money from Robinhood over to Phantom Wallet or whatever desired platform that you're using, you would then just go to search and paste it in there. That would bring up the specified coin that we would be using in that time frame or for that month. As once you have located the appropriate token and or crypto for the designated month, you would then buy into that designated token, stock and or crypto, selecting a small amount, as you don't want to invest too much. So anywhere from $1, $5, maximum, absolute maximum $10. The amount for you all to invest truly does vary and depend on the amount of money for the drop that is going to be placed in the designated spot after you all. So once you have invested in the designated spot, you are to wait until you hear that I have made my drop and that it's okay for you to pull out, as everyone should be pulling out. We're again, fairness. It's for everybody. We don't want to build no negative sentiments. We want people, no matter what time frame they actually start paying attention, to feel good about paying attention versus being like, I missed the wave. No, you didn't miss nothing. You just got to start paying attention this month. As once I have made my drop, then everybody's investments that were made before me should increase. This is, again, go check Discord, because we proved the reality of that. We proved that to be a fact. We just need to make considerable and sizable drops versus the measly $1,000 and $2,000 drops that we did do. But those drops were to prove what we proved. But I'll digress on that point for now, because you need to know how to get paid. You need to know how to cash out. So let me show you that. Phantom Wallet, after the drop has been done and you are ready to pull out, you can just hit sell. If you hit sell, it will turn your tokens back into Solana. So once it has done that and your money is now sitting in Solana on your Phantom Wallet, you're going to go straight to Robinhood. Robinhood account, you're going to locate Solana. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to hit receive. You're going to copy that address and then you're going to close your Robinhood. In your Phantom Wallet, you're then going to go to your Solana and hit send. You're going to paste the address that you just got from your Robinhood and you're going to send that money over to Robinhood. From there, you can turn it to USDC and then just send it straight to your bank. See, it seems and probably sounded more complicated than it is, right? You put your money on Robinhood, you send your money to Phantom Wallet, place it in the designated coin. I do a drop, tell you to pull out, you sell it, you then send it back to Robinhood, and you cash out. And so long as you're just willing to play a YouTube video in the background before you go to sleep each and every night. Really doesn't have to be each and every night, because if enough people are doing it, you can just do it one night a month, but you'd also be shortchanging yourself by not doing it more. But I digress on that point, because again, if you wanted to, lowballing it, 150 million people in America playing one YouTube video a night, just one time a month. How much money do you think each and every month a drop would be made for? How much would the accumulated mass of that be? 150 million people playing videos when they go to sleep at night, even if just for a day. Just for a night of y'all doing that. Just one night a month is anywhere from $1 million to $3 million. Just a night. Just a night of listening to a YouTube video playing in the background. Could y'all imagine if y'all did that for just a night? Could y'all imagine if y'all did that for 365 days? Could you truly imagine it? If in one night, just 150 million people make $1 million to $3 million just listening to a video playing in the background while they're sleeping. Could you imagine with 300 million people just in America, bare minimum, what could happen? Could you imagine if 1 billion people across the world did it? Could you imagine if 2 billion people did it? For 365 days a year. Do you understand how if you wanted to use social media to be financially free and stable, that this is the way you do that? But let's lower it back down to be a little bit more realistic for you all, because I know I have big goals and big dreams. If 150 million people for just a night generate $1 million to $3 million, then let's half that. 75 million people. That means y'all generate anywhere from $500,000 to $1.5 million. That's just 75 million people. That's not a lot of people when there's 8 billion. And mind you, there's more than 8 billion. We're bad at knowing how many people there actually are on the planet. But I'll digress on that part as well. To say there's 8 billion people on the planet, 75 million is not a big number. But if 75 million people is $500,000 to $1.5 million for a night, how much is that for a month? For 30 days, that's anywhere from $15 million to $45 million. Now, 75 million people were doing that for 365 days. On the low end, that's $182.5 million. While on the high end, it's $500 million. It's easily more than $500 million. On the high end, it's easily more than $500 million for a year. So 150 million for a year, easily $1 billion. On the high end, easily $1 billion. And each and every month, you would be getting paid for your attention because crypto is supposed to be used to redistribute wealth. So after a year of doing that, it could easily be a redistribution of $500 million or $1 billion. In 1 year. In 1 year. In 1 year. I apologize for getting loud, but I feel like I have to stress this part because, again, I could fix everything if y'all just did what I was telling you to do. All of the shenanigans, all the bull that we face on a regular basis would become irregular. So when some happens, we can take care of it lickety-split because it will no longer be normal if y'all just shut up and listen to me. As that could be 1 year with just 75 million people paying attention. Just 75 million at the 150 million out of 8 billion. And I wish I could digress on that point. But realistically, if y'all just shut up and did what I was telling you to do, I could have this stuff solved like that. It's not complicated. It's not hard. Again, we used 75 million people over the course of a year. And I live in a country of 300 million people, bare minimum. And I say that to just say, with just a fraction of the sheer amount of people that truly comprise the population around me, just with a fraction of them, I can drastically change their lives if they're just willing to pay attention. As even with that fraction, I can then do things like a video petition. A video petition would be a formal request to your government to change specified things while also letting them know that if they ignore it or they don't do anything, that they're going to receive repercussions, i.e. consequences, because consequences are supposed to be stated on petitions. You're not supposed to just write a petition requesting for change for your government. You're supposed to write a petition and let them know that we not only support this, but if you ignore it, these are your consequences. As that constitutionally covers you. So if you were to do something like a protest, your government couldn't then have people come out and intimidate you in any form or factor. They couldn't call martial law on you when you submit a petition and let them know that if you ignore this petition, this is what we're going to be doing. That's how you ensure that when you're protesting and doing things of that nature, that you actually get change. But when y'all protest without petitions. So there's no true causality on why you're protesting as far as the government's concerned. You're just causing a disturbance because you didn't ask me nothing. You didn't request from me to do nothing. You just sat here, said something, and then started protesting. That's not how this works. As with the added benefit of turning people's attention into passive income is that you should have their attention. So you can do things like a video petition. Now, I just want to say right here, right now, when it comes down to it, the reality of petitions and y'all's attention is your president. Your president's job is to write petitions. That way, when it comes down to the things that they said they were going to do and or change, Well, when this many people voted them in and they done wrote this petition and then they done told the people that voted them in about this petition, if those people support the petition, then checks and balances goes out the window. The president's voice becomes the final say. Because so long as the citizens can trust the president to make good decisions, then they can support the petitions almost blindly, even though they should never support anything blindly. If they can trust their president then has the final say over everything, because the president's job is to petition. Your president is supposed to be president petition. That's how your presidents are supposed to go about getting the change that they promised you before they got in office, versus telling you after they leave office that all these other people were impeding them from doing the things that they said they were going to do because they didn't write a petition and talk to you all, the same people that put them in that position. But I'll digress on that point for now, because again, the added benefit of turning your attention into passive income is that I should have your attention. So then I can do things like video petition your government. As again, in a petition, it's supposed to state a consequence. And I have a rock solid consequence for your government, a rinse and repeat use of consequence for your government. That way, if anything ever happens after we get the change that we so desperately want, need, and desire, that we can do it again with relative ease, because we already have a formula that applies or goes for everything. But first and foremost, before we get to that, let's get you set up. You gotta download your stuff, man. But let me show you how crypto is supposed to be used, because there's a lot of people who still don't understand and comprehend. So before we move on to the next stages of things, let's get paying attention right. Let's actually turn your attention into passive income, or at the very least, prove me wrong. Try to prove me wrong. Try to prove me wrong at the very least. But you realize, in order to prove me wrong, there's stuff and things you gotta do. Yeah, you gotta download Phantom Wallet. You gotta download Robinhood. You gotta get in our Discord. You gotta get in our Telegram. Because again, to prove me wrong, you'd have to play a YouTube video when you go to sleep at night, and or just in the background throughout the day. And then near the end of this month, we'll do a check-in. We'll see how much money was generated and made, and see what happens if I drop it in after you all have invested in small increments where I told you to. And if you're part of the 54,000 people, let me say 53.9 thousand people at this point in time that is following me over on TikTok, and you haven't been doing these things, G, you part of the problem. And either you can start doing these things now, or you can block me. Now, you can pause to read if you want to, but we're just here to look at the TikTok jobber. TikTok jobber. 1. Try to only engage or interact on the For You page. 2. Let the videos play one and only one complete time unless the video is under 1,000 views, as all employees are supposed to repost videos at the very least. You're supposed to be reposting. If you see my face on TikTok, you're supposed to repost it. Make sure to visit the profile page at least one time per week. This will help ensure that the content consistently stays on your For You page. Keeping in mind, liking the video last is essential for improved RPM and algorithm FYP pushing. Then, you should be following each other to not only grow the community, but to ensure that reposting forces content to all followers in a short amount of time. Saving the videos does improve the RPM, but if you watch the video again, it will disqualify your view. TikTok is very temperamental. So if you need to, before you get a rewatch, pause the video to comment or anything else. Please do not copy and paste comments. It is better to use predictive text or just at bigger content creators or celebrities, as if you copy and paste, TikTok picks up on that and that counts against us. Remember to type in hashtag paying attention in the TikTok search above the videos or whatever is prompted to be searched. If nothing's prompted, you don't really have to put nothing in. But if something is prompted, it helps out a lot if you actually search the prompt. Click links on videos with game or music media in them, as they are part of the incentive program, guaranteed higher payout and RPM. We haven't posted very many of those, so we're pretty much safe as far as number 11 goes for now. And 12, of course, follow on other platforms, download and set up your Coinbase and Phantom wallet. Optional overtime over on TikTok. Stitch and Duet really probably shouldn't be too much optional, but it is kind of optional, and it's greatly appreciated when it is done because it does boost the content significantly. Send video gifts under videos to boost their performance. You can even promote videos if you want to. I believe at most it's like $8, or bare minimum it's $8 in order to promote a video. But if you all are promoting the video, it doesn't count against us and keeps the video on the monetized program. If I promote a video, it removes the video from the monetized program. So gift in live streams, join us in live streams, buy merch off the TikTok shop, and truly we want to get you all more so integrated with Linktree than we do any other platform. Now, Linktree does offer commissions based off of the links that we have there. So there are some links that do offer commissions based off of you just clicking through. Like on our current Linktree, we have 2 links that are sitting at the top of the page. Those earn commissions just based off of you clicking through them. Other ones, we have things like Factor. That is a sign-up type of thing. I believe it takes about $53 in order to truly sign up, because it wants you to order at least 8 meals within a week. But then that generates $143 per redemption. So Linktree is a very good place to be using as far as social media and earning for the drop, because even when it comes down to that aspect of things, your daily essential items, we have a shop in our Linktree that has things like toilet paper, trash bags, diapers, and we're going to put a lot more daily essential things in there, because if you start buying through our Linktree versus buying directly, you will start making and earning money with us versus just spending it with the companies. However, I will go ahead and let you know that it does take Linktree apparently a lot longer to pay out than any of the other platforms. And now, with all of that being said, I feel like I might as well just go ahead and tell you what a lazy protest is. And there's going to be a lot of people that might not feel like these consequences are adequate. And all I'm going to say is, I promise you, I've thought about it a lot longer than you have. All right, so what is a lazy protest? A lazy protest is a protest in which you are not in any way, shape, or form going to be going out and gathering in any types of groups. You're not going to be participating in any type of revolt in any way, shape, or form other than what has been described in the lazy protest, as the lazy protest goes hand in hand with the video petition. During a lazy protest, you're going to be going about your daily lives as normal, going to work, buying whatever frivolous things you need, doing all the normal things that you would do on a regular basis. You are not to be doing anything outside of the normal, except and unless your government ignores your video petition. If your government ignores the video petition, that is when you start taking action upon the lazy protest. But that starts with you picking a date for the government to do something and or the consequences begin. And that date that you pick should be somewhere in the middle-ish of the month. I said you pick, we pick. As your government is either going to do something about your video petition and or ignore it. And if they ignore it on that specified date, you're going to begin your small form boycotting, your company boycotting of 4 different companies of 4 different categories, picking a streaming service, a gaming system, a fast food place, and a grocery store that you're going to boycott. You're going to refrain from associating with in any way, shape, or form. And if you have stocks in those things, you're going to pull them out. You're not going to associate with them at all. This ensures that not only that children can participate in this form of protesting, but that everybody, no matter what position they're in life, can participate in the protest. That whether they're mentally, physically, both types of handicap, whether or not they just don't like being around people, can't get to a specified area. You get rid of all of those factors that keep or prevent people from truly showing support because they're not able to support in that manner. While also giving your government a grace period to go ahead and start doing something about the things that you requested or we requested to be changed. As if they don't within that time frame, it just segues from the small boycott into a bigger boycott. It doesn't mean that the small boycott stops. It just means another boycott is coming, and it's a lot larger, and it's going to hit a lot harder. And by the end of the month, after you have started your small form boycotts, if the government has still yet to do anything about the things that you requested to be changed, you'll be going into that following month boycotting your rent, your electricity, and your water bill. While also at that same point in time, you should definitely be been getting paid for your attention. So it's not truly a thing that you shouldn't have the money to pay your bills. More so just a thing that I'm paying you to not pay your bills. As if I am paying you to refrain from paying your bills, but ensuring that you still have the money to pay your bills. Then that following month, your government has 3 months to fix the things that we requested for them to fix, and or they have to come and try to evict us, which at that point, after ignoring our video petition, not only are they supposed to be stepping down, because petition, that's impeachment if you ignore it for real, but I'll digress on that point, because more than likely they will ignore it, and we won't request for them to step down. So more than likely, they'll try to come get you out your homes. And that is checkmate. The moment that they try to come and get you out your homes, constitutionally, the military is supposed to buck on them. Constitutionally, if you video petition your government and y'all show support for that video petition and y'all are serious, and in that video petition it states, hey, we're going to boycott if you don't do nothing. And then we're going to large form boycott if you really don't do nothing. The moment that they come, they mess with your water, they mess with your electricity, because they'll probably try to mess with those before they try to come get you out your homes, because you have 3 months to be in your homes before they have any legal right to try to get you out. But the moment that they touch your water or your electricity, your military is supposed to step in and seize control. Your military is supposed to do their motherfucking job. But I'll digress on that point just a little bit, because of course our military knows that their job is to fight terror, whether it's foreign or domestic. We have never been able to put our government in a position to reveal themselves as the terror. But doing a lazy protest, they don't have a choice. You're either going to help us, you're going to fix the things that we requested for you to fix, or you're going to show us who you truly are. And the moment that you do that, all these red-blooded Americans, all these gun-toting mother, have every right to Project Mayhem in this bitch, but reasonably, sensibly, constitutionally protected, with the added benefit of home court advantage, as again, it would be the only situation in which your government has to come out of their own space into yours to show their true colors. And then you, with your home court advantage, get to defend and protect yourself. Constitutionally protected with the backing of the military. As if the military don't back us, we've got bigger problems. But I'll digress on that point for now, because again, this is a rinse, reuse, and repeat formula and strategy, because this puts your governments back against the wall. You're either going to fix the things that we requested for you to fix, or you're going to show us that you should have been impeached a long time ago and or are a working domestic terrorist. Now, hopefully that'll do it. Hopefully there's enough information in here. I know I was talking a lot, but I just wanted to try to convey all the things that possibly needed to be conveyed for people to understand and comprehend what we're doing and what's going on. So hopefully, after this video, maybe even during this video, you were downloading Phantom Wallet, Robinhood, trying to get in our Discord and trying to get in our Telegram. Because the first step to true revolution in the digital age is your attention becoming passive income. The only thing we didn't touch on in this video is possibly mind-body quintessence amalgamation, but that is a subject for another day, because first and foremost, you should be getting paid. Oh, y'all seen that? This cold weather ain't doing me no favors, but hopefully y'all are doing the stuff and things, because again, first step in a true revolution in the digital age, you're getting paid for your attention. And if anybody ever wants peace on the earth, understand that everybody has to have peace. Otherwise, nobody will ever get any.